X-Men the Animated Series figure review coming right up. Mr. Clicks Flicks is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning roll for all your gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafe.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Mr. Clicks Flicks is also brought to you by trollandtoad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Use the promo code Mr. Clicks Flicks for 5% off your Heroclix order today. Alright guys, so today we are taking a look at the figures we pulled from Day 4's X-Men the Animated Series unboxing. If you want to see that unboxing, go ahead and check out the link in the YouTube card now for that. And then stop back at this video for the review of each figure that we pulled. Figures that we have already reviewed, I'm just going to kind of glaze over, so make sure to check out the other reviews for the full breakdown. If you guys see a individual figure that you like, trollandtoad.com, one of our channel sponsors, is having pre-orders for singles now, so check that out. And then once the set officially drops, make sure to use that promo code Mr. Clicks Flicks for 5% off your Heroclix order. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to start off with the Sentinel here in the back. So really cool there. This is the base Sentinel from here. So let's go ahead and focus so we can maybe see the card. There it is. It has the Sentinel and Robot keywords. Has two traits, special on its movement and a special on its attack. Its first movement is if you're playing with 33-point line, if you paid 33 points for the Sentinel, at the beginning of the game, choose a starting line. If you paid 25 points or it was brought into the game by another effect, roll a d6 to determine the starting click, and then, basically you start at the different point lines. If brought into the game for another effect, they're 25 points in value. If your opponent knocks them out or something. So if you bring them in with another thing like Bastion or something like that, they score 25 points if they knock it out. The other trait is called Prime Directive. At the beginning of your turn, Sentinel may move one square. If an opposing character with the X-Men or Brotherhood of Mutants keyword is on the map, you may move one additional square. So that's pretty cool there. Sentinel and Robot keywords are really good. Special on the movement is called Capture Coils, Plasticity, but affects only opposing characters within 3 squares in line of fire. So that's pretty cool there. And then the special on its attack is Incapacitate. When Sentinel uses it as close, it may instead target all opposing characters within 3 squares in line of fire regardless of adjacency. That's fabulous. So no other specials or anything like that. And here we are. So for 35 or 25 points, I'm sorry, 33 or 25 points, you only get 2 clicks, but they are solid enough. So as you can see there, you've got an up-close one with the charge and super strength. You've got a range one with running shot, psychic blast. You've got one with stealth and the knockout gas. You've got one that has perplexes, one that can deal some real damage at range with range combat expert, real damage up close with close combat expert. All of them have a flight ability so they can carry other colossals, which is phenomenal. And then they also have the indomitability symbol for their defense, which is really good, and colossal, so you could keep pushing them if you wanted to, if you didn't really care about giving up those 25 points. All the stat lines are the same: 8 movement, 10 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage, with differing powers, except the defensive power is always invulnerability, it looks like. These guys are really solid. I definitely try to get a few of them for your Sentinel army. I don't know, I feel like 5 or 6. I'm a poor judge. I had 21 giant girls, so it's tough for me to tell you how many of these to get. But I'd say at least 5 or 6, so that you can bring them in with leadership and then have one or two on your starting force also. So really cool there. The other one is Green Dragon Puff. This is actually my second one. I got one in pre-release and pulled it. Animal Monster keyword, and this guy's okay. He's not great. He's a flying colossal, which is good. Traded Force Blast, which actually came in handy a lot. And then when he moves one or more times during an action, after resolutions, he can use Force Blast at no cost. So that really came in handy. Is you move him, then use Force Blast for free. This special on his movement is silly. I got on a map. My opponent, I guess, didn't pay attention, and honestly, I didn't pay attention. until that game that sidestep and then free destroy one piece of blocking terrain, generate a light object, make a ranged object attack with it, and then you can do it again in one turn. This special on the damage, it just gives them tiny size instead of colossal, and can't use her trait. That's okay. I never ran into a point where I thought that would have done me any good, so I think it's kind of a waste. Has a few different point lines, 225, 150, and 75. I played her, I think, at 225. No, it might have been 150, now that I'm thinking about it. But I like her. The 150 is not bad because you get an 11 for 3. 75 is not bad either, especially considering that you get to sidestep. You can move, sidestep, destroy basically 2 pieces of blocking and make 2 ranged attacks for free. This figure can attack 2-3 times a turn, basically every turn on the right map, which is phenomenal. I would try that. For animal keyword, it's not bad. In monster, monster is always great. Next, we have Professor X, and I do like this sculpt. This is the upsetting part about this, is that I like this sculpt. It's from the 90s. It's exactly what I wanted, and this figure is just garbage. I mean, I guess there's certain contexts where he'd be good, but just not being able to clear to keep out those influence tokens makes it so I can't endorse this guy. I mean, he's got decent keywords. When a character gets KO'd, like, he gets some cool stuff, but I'm hoping to never use that. And at 100 points, I don't know that I'm going to use somebody that I can't use offensively for 100 points ever. So sorry, Professor X fans, and sorry, Professor X. That's just not something I like. So here we have Cyclops. He's number 13, I'm sorry. And this is actually pretty serviceable. He's got the X-Men keyword, has Jean, and it's a unique modifier for Jean Grey figures, kind of like the Jean Grey's unique modifier for him, which is cool. Special on his movement is Running Shot and Force Blast, which is pretty good. Force Blast is cool because you can use it to, like, knock back characters in addition to just, regularly attacking them, which is neat. So he's got this special on his defense, which is leadership. When he uses it and succeeds, after resolutions, choose another character, friendly character that shares a keyword with him and has 0 action tokens. This turn, that character has free have speed, then move. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of get a pseudo movement attack out of it. And what's also cool is that it's after resolution. So if you have a character that you just pulled an action token off of and they get down to 0, then you can have their speed again and make another attack, which could be pretty cool. This guy's solid for 70 points. 11 attack, psychic blast, 3 damage with that special, 10 movement with that special. Willpower, and he's got the X-Men team ability. This is pretty solid. This is a good Cyclops. I'd definitely try to nail one down. Not as good as the super rare, but I mean, really, what's gonna be that good? This guy's a decent one, and he'd actually be a decent enough call-in too. So sculpt on it's not bad, pretty cool there. I like the paint. It seems like even though some of the poses aren't as dynamic as you'd hope, it seems like the coloring on the paint, they got really solid. And actually, paint application in general seems like it was pretty good for this set too. So, not too much bad to say there. Next up, we have Deadpool. This is kind of a head-scratcher for this set because I can only think of one time that he was in the series, and it was like some flashback for half a second with Gambit. But, a lot of people like Deadpool. He's got Weapon X keyword. He's got some neat stuff going on. He's got a trait, which is traded super senses. And when an attack targeting Deadpool misses, after resolutions, give the attacker an action token. So, you can give them basically 2 action tokens if they miss. Perplex, but only to negatively modify combat value, so they're more apt to miss. He's only 30 points. Has willpower, incapacitate, 2 damage with that special, phasing teleport. This guy's just, so he's only 30 points. This guy's just kind of a filler figure. I wouldn't go out of my way to play him, but if you're a Deadpool fan, this is a nice cheap Deadpool that might actually get some mileage out of. And here at the Sculpts, this one reminds me of the, what was the name of it? It was Mutant something. Not Mutant Mayhem, because that's, yeah, it might be Mutant Mayhem now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah, Mutant Mayhem. Reminds me of that Sculpt. But yeah, I ended up with 2 of them. They're not bad. Then we have the Friends of Humanity generic. He is has Sentinel and Brute keywords, so we're seeing a lot of non-Sentinels with the Sentinel keyword. So I think Sentinel keyword is going to be very strong very soon. If you paid 10 points for him, you can select the line. If it's 5 points, you got to roll. And then if he's brought in any other way, he's 5 points. So very similar to the Sentinel, so it's cool that we pulled them in the same packs. 10 or 5 points has that Underworld team ability, which is really helpful. 1 click. I wish he had sort of like the Batman the Animated Series, where it's they don't count against theme. But, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. But still, got some decent different starting lines there. Depending on if you needed something or if you're just looking for, you know, 5 points to try to get an extra +1 on your Sentinel build. This would be somebody to look into. Next up, we have probably the figure I was most excited to pull out of this batch, which was Gambit. He has the X-Men, Assassin, and Martial Arts keywords, has improved movement, ignores hindering, has special on his movement, which is running shot, stealth, which is pretty good, and then special on his attack, which is energy explosion. When Gambit uses it, if the roll is doubles and hits, increase the damage dealt to all hit characters by +1. So basically you're dealing out 3 damage energy explosion, which is pretty good. He's only 65 points, which is really solid for what you're getting here. That 18 defense is nothing to sneeze at. He has Indom. He starts off with both specials up top dial, 3 damage, X-Men team ability. I have nothing bad to say about this guy. He's got a 5 range with dual target. So, you know, if you target characters on, you know, if they break up their formation and they're in like 2 clusters, you can deal out 3 damage to everybody if you roll doubles and hit. Solid enough. I like this guy a lot. Super happy we pulled him. And I don't mind the Sculpt. I kind of wish there would be a more dynamic one with him like throwing the cards, like with a throwing effect that would have been like a super rare or something like that. But, you know, again, we've gotten 2 Gambits in pretty short succession when it felt like there was a long time where we didn't have one. And again, paint's really good on this, and I like the translucent effect on the cards, so overall solid. Next up, we're going to look at Toad. He's number 22 in the set, has the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword, has that mutants, my mutant brothers and sisters trait where you remove a token as long as it's not, if you remove a token as long as it's not clearing tokens, you heal him a click. Leap, Climb, Plasticity, which is good, and then Super Senses. When Toad uses it and fails, after resolutions, you may either move him a number of squares equal to his Super Senses roll, or remove an action token from him. So, you know, you failed your Super Senses roll, but you get to do something else. He's only 45 points. That 18 defense up front is actually pretty difficult to hit, especially in sealed. It seems like a lot of figures have a 10 attack, so rolling an 8 is kind of a tall order. Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, 4 range, with that in cap. He's a decent in capper, and you know, just basically a harasser, and ties people up and just does that. So pretty cool there. And let's see the Sculpt here. It reminds me of that Pride of the X-Men, like I guess they called it a pilot for the X-Men TV show, which I wish the starter set would have been like Pride of the X-Men, but still, you know, still really cool there. And then we've got a Command Guard again, which we saw in another preview. So that's what I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a share. Lets the YouTube algorithm know that other people might enjoy this video. Make sure to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/MrClicksFlix. If you want to support the channel, every little bit always helps. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.